What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon466cards, and today we're going to talk about 3, maybe 4 former Beckett executives suing Beckett, all for the same thing, essentially not getting paid money that they're owed as part of their severance. And that's the common theme, but there's another common theme there as well. So we're going to get right into these lawsuits. The first one you can see on the screen, it's from a fellow named Krishnendu Dasgupta. And if you're wondering who this person is, well, if we go to his LinkedIn page, you can see he goes by Krish. He was a CTO for a company called Knox Technologies, and then worked as the head of engineering at Beckett for about, what is that, 6 months, from September 2022 to January 2023. And then he was let go, and he's suing for not getting paid his severance. So you can see that the lawsuit was filed in August of 2023, and 2023 is going to be a key date or year to remember, and we'll get to why at the very, very end. If we scroll down to his lawsuit, you will see here the main thing is that defendant has materially breached plaintiff's contracts by failing to pay plaintiff his severance as provided in his contract. So you fired me, I was on a company that you bought, and then you didn't pay me my severance, so I am suing you. That's basically what it is. It's very straightforward, and so that is the lawsuit. There's also a really weird, juicy part, kind of dramatic part of this lawsuit, where he talks about going downstairs in a hotel room in his pajamas and having this confrontation with another person named Justin, and they have an argument, and he feels threatened, and it's weird. So if you want to read through that, feel free to pause the video and read through what you see on the screen, but I'm going to keep on. If you're wondering why the company Knox sounds familiar, it's because Knox was a company that Beckett bought in 2022. You can see on the screen here. And Scott Roskind also sued Beckett. He was Beckett's chief visionary officer. He was also the founder of Knox. And I talked about that in a video here, all the allegations against Beckett, and it's the exact same thing. Beckett refuses to pay Scott the severance that he's owed after they fired him as well. They also refuse to pay him money for hitting one of the milestones that he hit as part of the incorporation and transition from Knox and their software or their technology, and incorporating it into Beckett's larger platform. They met one of the milestones, and he didn't get paid for it, and so that's what Scott's suing for. So again, not getting paid money he's owed as per the contract that he signed. That's the common theme here. If we move on to a fellow named Sandeep Dua, if you're wondering who is Sandeep Dua, let's go to his LinkedIn page. He was on the board of directors at Beckett, group CEO at Beckett Media, president CEO at Beckett Media. So top of the food chain at Beckett. His lawsuit, it's the same thing. His lawsuit says that he was owed $12 million in severance. And if we scroll down here, he is saying that they're not paying me my $12 million. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. They haven't paid me 5.7 of that 12 million. There's another 3.1 that's coming up due in June of 2025, and he's basically proactively suing for that $3.1 million that's coming up in 2025. They haven't paid me the 5.7 million. I have no reason to believe that he's going to be paid his 3.1 million. So let me just sue for the 8.8 million that you guys will owe me and still owe me. That's what the lawsuit's all about. But what's more interesting in this lawsuit is some of the email exchanges. Keep in mind, this guy's owed $5 million. And so he starts sending emails in 2023. And I should note that this Krish lawsuit, the Scott lawsuit, the Sandeep lawsuit that we're going to go through here, they're all starting in 2023, or they're all filed in 2023. So he first starts off by saying, hey, it's May. Hi, Mark. You've owed me. You guys are owed me $671,000 because these came in payments, right? And so up to that point in May, he was owed $671,000 as of 2022, and now the payments for 2023 have started to kick in. So what's the plan to pay me here? And so he's emailing Mark, who is the director of finance, and I should say he was the director of finance at Global Growth. Global Growth is the company that owns Beckett. And it says here, per the agreement, the payouts will be funded by Global Growth Holdings, but by distributions from all these other companies and their respective entities. Due to restrictions from the lender, these entities are currently unable to make distributions. And that's the first red flag. Due to the restrictions from the lender, these entities are unable to make distributions. So basically, our company can't pay you. And it says here, Global Growth was unable to get court approval for 2 transactions, which would have provided the company with working capital that would have allowed us to pay you. And we're working on a $25 million working capital loan, which will not require court approval. So he's basically saying, I need to get court approval to pay you. And we're going to go into some details as to why they need court approval to pay people at the end of this video. And so that's Mark's response. Again, this is May 17th, May 19th. We're starting in mid-May here. Sandeep's like, WTF, what are you talking about? That's not the thing I signed. Like, you owe me this money. You got to pay me this money. I've stayed very patient with complete understanding all through since last June when the dues were just partially paid. And I was given to accept the payment plan, which I did accept, but was not honored per the timelines. Basically, what's going on? I've worked here for 10 years? He started as president CEO of 2012 up until 2021. It's very tough on my end. I owe people money. What do you want me to do here? So that's May. Now we're until, that was May 17th, May 19th. Now we're into June 27th. Hey, Mark, I wanted to follow up on the below. I've tried contacting Greg, and Greg is the CEO of Global Growth, the conglomerate that owns Beckett. And he's saying, can you give me Greg's contact information? And spoiler alert, he doesn't get Greg's contact information because Greg is going to jail and is getting sued by other companies for money. So he doesn't have time for you, Sandeep. I hate to break it to you. And so then Sandeep doesn't get a response from Mark, June 27th. So he emails Bo with money, or with an email, and then now goes to Bo and Emilio with an email on June 28th, June 29th. Peter, he's trying Peter now. Now he tries Bridget on June 29th. He's just emailing anybody he knows that used to work there. Now he emails Stephanie, June 29th. Stephanie, our hero, responds. And I got to say, having read through these emails, Stephanie is doing the best she can, but she's being dealt a really bad hand by Beckett. And so, shout out to Stephanie. I was not actually aware that you were still working there since Justin stepped down. My bad. And they have a nice back and forth. You're fine, no worries. I'm just helping everyone and everything. Shout out to you, Stephanie. Any update? July 7th, Stephanie. I have followed up again, but no response from Stephanie. July 12th. And July 12th, have you delivered to the right person? Sandeep's asking. He's like, yes, I have. Can you follow up and make it urgent with high priority? Sandeep is saying. July 12th. July 17th, I have heard back from no one. July 19th, Stephanie says, I'm doing all I can. It's in the right hand, so following up again. Thanks for patience. July 20th, Sandeep's like, I'm okay to propose installment payments on what you owe me. You don't have to pay me up front, the entire amount. Let Greg know. Greg doesn't need to know. He's not paying you, man. I'm sorry. July 27th, hey, Stephanie, any updates on this installments proposal? And July 27th, Stephanie says, I got feedback from someone yesterday, and the email that Mark sent back to me still remains the same. Don't have an update, but you haven't been forgotten. July 27th, thank you for your response. Mark's left the company, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I've heard. So who am I getting to? Who do I go to? August 9th. Hey, any updates? What's happening? Stephanie says, Sandeep, reach out to Emilio. I have no update. Hey, Emilio, what's up? It's August 10th now. Again, he started this in mid-May. August 17th. Hey, Emilio, do you check emails regularly? I'm not getting a response from you, and I don't know what's going on. Finally, Emilio on August 18th. Again, he started this in mid-May. GGHI, so that's Global Growth Holdings, is facing significant cash restraints due to multiple legal challenges. As a result, I'm unable to provide you with a specific payment date. However, please be assured that the company remains committed to settling its debts as soon as its cash flow permits. And then he's like, hey, show me proof that we owe you all this money. It's like, what? Sandeep's like, here's all the documentation, but like, where's my money, man? And that's kind of where it ends, and then he sues them. And so the key point here is Global Growth, which is the conglomerate that owns Beckett, is facing significant cash constraints due to multiple legal challenges. And we will, again, circle back to that, why that's happening at the end of this video. But that's where Sandeep stands. He's literally the former CEO and was on the board, and he's not getting paid his money. Moving right along. Andrew Metal. This is the lawsuit I can't find details on for whatever reason. I've looked for it. I can't find it. I've asked someone else to help me. They also can't find details. This is from September 28th of 2023. That's when he filed the lawsuit. If you're wondering who Andrew Metal is, do you remember a company named Do Dilly that Beckett bought in 2022? Well, that was September 2022. Andrew Metal filed this lawsuit of September 2023. According to Darren Ravel, he was let go, Andrew Metal was let go August 16th. So he didn't wait around. He got let go August 16th and immediately sued September 28th, 2023. He might have been in a group chat with Sandeep and with Krish and with Scott Roskind. And that group chat might be called Beckett Owes Us Money. And so rather than wait around and dealing with the nonsense that Sandeep did with all of these emails, he's like, I know that you guys aren't going to pay me, so I'm just going to sue you now. Let's skip the frustration of emailing you guys back and forth for 3 months and not getting any traction. And so he has sued September 2023. Again, I don't know the details of what the lawsuit is, but I am going to assume that it is the exact same thing that everybody else who has been let go by Beckett is suing them for. And again, all this stuff is allegedly, right? All this stuff is allegedly, but it's a trend. It's a very strong trend of not paying people the money that they're owed as part of their contracts and severance. And if we're going to bring this all together, why is this happening at Beckett? It's because their owner is Greg Lindbergh. And Greg Lindbergh has been convicted in court of fraud. He's going to prison. He also owes a company $600 million. It's an insurance company that he owed $600 million to. I won't get into details of why, but they're owed $600 million. Greg is not paying that $600 million, and this company called Ulico is saying that Lindbergh is trying to dissipate assets from the other companies that he owns. One of the companies that he owns is Beckett as part of Global Growth. And so if you scroll down here, there is a court order from a judge. This is Judge Ofogluda, called the charging order, affected 626 limited liability corporations. The order called on all LLC distributions, which I assume would include Southern Hobby, Beckett, those kind of companies, from those hundreds of entities to go to Ulico rather than Lindbergh. Basically, these companies can no longer pay out money to anybody other than Ulico, which is the money that is owed $600 million. The judge called on Lindbergh to produce all governing documents and verified accounting linked to these LLCs with governance and accounting updates every 60 days. The order compelled the LLCs to freeze all payments to Lindbergh other than wages. So basically, no money can go to Greg Lindbergh from these companies that is part of Global Growth. They have to go to this Ulico because they're, again, owed $560 million. Interest is $32,000 a day. And so that's why Sandeep Dua is getting emails saying, hey, I can't pay you anymore because we need to get a court approval. And we have a bunch of legal challenges. I can't send money to people outside the firm unless you work for Ulico. Like, that is how I read this. Like, all of these emails. And I feel very bad for Sandeep. I feel very bad for Krish. And I feel very bad for Scott. And without knowing the details of Andrew Metal's lawsuit, I can probably say I feel bad for him because they're getting shafted. They're not getting paid money they do deserve because Beckett is a gong show, because Their owner is a gong show, and it is a hot mess. And that is what is happening behind the scenes at Beckett. All their former executives are suing the company. Not all. A bunch of former executives are suing the company for not getting paid their severance after getting let go that they claim they are owed. And the reason they're not getting paid is because it seems like the courts have frozen all of Beckett's assets, so that all the money, all the profits that come that Beckett generates go to Ulico, which is a company that is owed $600 million by the owner of Beckett. That's where we're at with Beckett. And so that's it. That's the video. I don't know how to end this other than like Beckett is a dumpster fire that owes a company money, and now all of their operations are kind of in limbo because of that. And you've seen my previous videos before, possibly, where I say they're going to get sold. Beckett is going to get sold as part of a liquidation sale. All of these lawsuits just support that thesis. So I think that's where this is all headed. Would love to hear your comments down below. Thank you, as always, for listening and watching. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.